for heaven's sakes, yes, we need public policy about children. Yes, children need some protections, but let's let Americans make the rules that we need.
Michael, let me ask you this. I happen to be a huge booster of alternative medicine. I also believe that modern medicine has done some absolutely superb things for human beings. They've come up with innovation. They've come up with some drugs that have done incredible things. And, of course, we've done some other things with drugs that aren't very good at all, as we all know these stories coming out of the FDA and what have you. But let's assume for a moment that a young child has some kind of bone cancer. And his parents, for religious beliefs, or they just don't believe in chemotherapy and radiation, so they withhold that kid from medical treatment. Maybe they believe just alternative medicine's the way to go. One, today in this country, does a parent have a right to do that? Some courts have tried to get involved in this, but what would this treaty do to that as well? If a parent said, look, I don't want my child to get radiation or chemo, I'm going to give them Laetrile, for example.
They're probably going to lose that case if the doctors would say, today they're going to lose, if the doctors will say the radiation is likely to cure the child. If they would say, basically there's no hope, then, maybe not. But if there's a probability of saving the child according to traditional medicine, then the parents are going to get overridden on a life-or-death situation today. But let's take something a little more common.
All right.
One of my children had a Pertussis vaccine, a DPT vaccine,
yes.
And she developed 106-degree temperature within hours.
Ugh.
And
that's dangerous.
Yeah, it nearly killed her. And so every child after that, we refused to get the Pertussis vaccine. We just said, we're not going to do it. We think that there's a problem within our family, and then we started reading about pertussis, and we just refused to get those vaccinations anymore. And we, frankly, delayed all vaccinations for our kids of any kind until, they were like 2 years old. We didn't start them off instantaneously, but we just refused to do pertussis, period. And that decision, it's not life or death, whether or not a child's going to get pertussis. In fact, at our church a few years ago, there was a pertussis outbreak, and the whooping cough spread throughout the church. A lot of people got it, maybe 10 or 15, 20 people got it. And the only people got it were people who had been vaccinated. and so the, that kind of a decision where it's not life or death, but it's good, at least not in an ordinary sense, but it would, to us it was life or death about giving our children this pertussis vaccine. But, the traditional medical opinion at the time was, well, it's not that dangerous and everything. And we just said, no, we're going to make a different decision. All that's gone under this treaty. Those kind of decisions would be overridden. Our family is kind of on the border. We do some alternative medicine. We do some traditional medicine. And, our ability to make good decisions in that area is just simply gone.